Good afternoon. Welcome to the Westport Board of Health July 10th, 2023 meeting, which I'm calling to order. Under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, and our first agenda item is a presentation by Linda Pierce, the town nurse, on Mom Talks.
Hi, my name is Linda Pierce. I'm the public health nurse for the town of Westport. I had an idea to promote Mom Talk for new and seasoned moms through a meet and greet open forum to share some ideas. Dads are welcome too. And it's just to exchange some new challenges they are facing now with their new baby and all the things that come up, the lack of sleep, the lack of help, some people do it this way, other people do it that way, and I think it would be a real nice thing for moms to just get together and discuss what they're going through. I'm going to send out some index cards, and for those that are a little shy to talk, they can write a question on there. I have a multitude of experience at St. Luke's Hospital on maternity, and that's women and infants, so where I worked in both places. I just think it'll be a fun thing for them, gets them out of that isolation, and we are installing some diaper change stations in both bathrooms, and I'm going to put up some screens for nursing moms if they need to use that. Some feel comfortable, others need to use them behind the screens. We're also going to be serving some coffee and water, and the meetings will be the first and the third Monday of each month from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And to register at 508-636-1030. And please come. I think it'll be fun, and I think it'll be a new challenge and experience for all. And I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you for taking that initiative. How are you going to be promoting it and getting the word out?
Also, the WIC program is also going to be coming to let us know what's available to some families,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a multitude of information too. So we're going to give out a lot of information, but it's more like a relaxed, comfortable, let's talk.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people don't know where to turn, or maybe they don't have family around here, or friends, they may have just moved into the community. And it's nice for the people that are in that community to maybe meet who their kids are going to be going to school with in the future, because they're going to see each other throughout their school years.
Right.
So I'll see how it goes, and I hope it's successful, but we have a letter that we are sending out, and also WIC has put their information on the back. So people at WIC are already giving out those things. I've tried to contact the town clerk to see if I can get some addresses to send out some of these informal information for them too.
Okay.
So
So you'll get information based on birth reporting.
right, and
Okay.
hopefully I can get that, and it's also on the website, and
Right.
people can call and ask, just
Yeah.
call and say, hey, what's this all about?
Mm-hmm.
I have interviewed some women in the parking lots when I'm at Walmart or at the grocery store that have babies, and asked them, and I said, what do you think of this? They said, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe we could do a short, not necessarily Westport Health Notes column, but sort of not just a press release, because I know the papers don't pick up press releases, but a little chatty kind of article to
Yeah,
help get the word out.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. All right, moving on. We have the Director of Public Health written report. Any questions on that? Seeing none, why don't you give us an update if anything else going on, Matt?
It's
Always something else going
it's
on.
always, right? It'd be a nice week if there wasn't. Anyways, we're in year end right now with the for FY '23. We're officially in FY '24 as of July 1st, but we're still, gathering stuff and, going through the year-end stuff, make sure nothing gets missed. Transfer station, we'll talk about that on the non-anticipated, about hiring somebody in a minute. Animal control, I'll just say that we hired a part-time animal control officer who now is no longer with us, and the search continues for a part-time animal control officer. So it's back to just Nick, and just as a reminder, Nick is off every other weekend, and we will do our best to, keep coverage going as good as we've been. So, pretty much that's it on the department updates. Director approved plans, 607 Adamsville Road. My sheet. We have upgraded 4 bedrooms on a 56,628 square foot lot using a stone bed and an Advantex. It's been Concom reviewed, and that's for Mr. James Burns. We have a 3-bedroom repair for Mr. Bruce Sullenbrandt on 1618 Main Road on a 36,000 square foot lot utilizing quick 4s. It's been through Concom. We have a commercial repair on 875 State Road. That's the Route 6 Executive Plaza. The lot size is 252,879 square feet, and gallons per day, it's designed for 3,151 gallons. Been through Concom. We have a 4-bedroom repair on a 20,000 square foot lot on 70 Forge Road for Manuel Ferreira. Been through Concom, and it's going to need a deed restriction on this one. And then we have a 3-bedroom repair for 485 Sanford Road for Donald Fontaine, 21,840 square foot lot, 3 bedrooms, been through Concom, and this one will also need a deed restriction. That's it.
Okay, any questions on that?
No, so you mentioned a deed restriction previous to the last 2, but it's just not in the column, am I right about that?
No, so just the last 2 need deed restrictions, the other
okay.
ones do not.
Okay,
I think I said the 3-bedroom one does not need a deed restriction.
okay,
Because it's a 36,000 square foot lot.
okay, yeah.
And then the first one, because it's an increase in flow, meets our new construction requirement for 2 times per year total nitrogen testing.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll move to approve the proposed plans approved by the director.
With the deed restriction noted for 70 Forge Road and 458 Sanford Road, and total nitrogen testing for 607 Adamsville Road. I will second that motion. I'm out of practice, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous with Donald Emerald is absent, so it's 2-0 vote. Okay, thank you. Minutes, we have the June 26, 2023 meeting minutes. However, I was absent at that meeting, and since Donna is absent today, there's not a quorum to approve the minutes, so we'll pass over those and we'll bring them up at the next regular meeting. Under other business, we have a request from the Zoning Board of Appeals to appoint a Board of Health member to the short-term rental subcommittee. They're proposing to develop either a bylaw or regulation. And I know that that's something that we would want to be involved in, so I'm happy to take that on. Assuming we want to be represented. I'm assuming that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
okay.
want to? Yeah, sure.
The next agenda item, I'll just do a brief description. We're going to have to table that and bring it up again at our next regular meeting, because we do not have the intermunicipal agreement signed off by the select board yet, and we don't want to jump the gun. But we've been trying for a long time to fill some of the positions for that grant, the shared services coordinator. We do have a finalist candidate for that, waiting to hear if she's accepting the job, and then two full-time and part-time shared inspector. And again, because we're not fully, we don't have the IMA fully in place yet for the next year, we should table these, and we'll move them to the governance board as soon as we we can move them to the governance board and can bring them back to the Board of Health for formal endorsement at that time. So any questions on that? Nope.
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
So we'll pass on that, and going to be record setting. Board member updates?
I've got nothing new to talk about.
Okay. Then I'll just, as I mentioned, the intermunicipal agreement is before the select board tonight. We voted on it at our last meeting to endorse it, so hopefully that'll go smoothly. And then I'm gonna move now to topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance, because we have a couple of updates that we need to address. So first is we would like to get authorization or approval by the Board of Health, and then hopefully Select Board also unanticipated tonight, to post an attendant one position. And I'm going to turn it over to Matt to explain what's going on with our lack of ability to hire.
Right, so we've been trying to hire an attendant two, which requires a hoisting license for the transfer station, and we've been at it now for a couple months, and nobody's applying for that position. I suspect because the pay rate for that position is kind of low. So we do need a third person there. Now we should consider just hiring a third person as an attendant one, which does not require a hoisting license, but at least it'll get us fully staffed and eliminate the problems we have when somebody goes on vacation or calls out sick. We won't have to scramble to try to pull somebody in to keep the place open. So that's my idea for that. And then, if we do hire an attendant one and the person has any interest in getting a hoist license, then, we can talk about that if that time comes. So I'm looking for permission from the Board of Health to post this position, to get authorization to post, but it still has to go to the Board of Selectmen to get their final stamp to actually get it posted. So I would ask them to post it simultaneously in-house and out at the same time.
I'll move that we authorize the request to the Board of Selectmen for posting an attendant one position for the transfer station.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't ask. Do you have any questions or anything?
No,
Any comment on
just seems like we've been taxing down the runway on that one for a while, so.
that? Yeah, it's been a challenge, and it's very time consuming to try and hire. As we've seen on the Public Health Excellence Grant as well, it's just a challenge. And the other unanticipated business is, I'll again turn to Matt on, we need to schedule a housing findings hearing under the new housing code for, turn it over to Matt to explain.
Right, so we just have to have a hearing to determine if the house, this particular dwelling unit, which is an apartment within, under the house, that if it's gonna, if the board's gonna condemn it or not. So we call it a findings hearing, and the hearing has to be with the Board of Health. They'll review the facts, the inspection report, the pictures, listen to, what Joe and I have to say about it. We'll invite in the property owner for the hearing and see, we can go through everything, the very extensive report and pictures at the time of the hearing, and see where we end up with that. So I'm proposing July 17th at 10:30 a.m.
That's okay with me.
I think that should be okay.
Okay.
It's
Well,
in person.
yeah, we'll notify Donna. I don't know when she'll be back, but,
I'll send her an email, just, to let her know, and hopefully she can make it.
okay. All right, so that's, hearing will be scheduled at 10:30 on the 17th. Okay, are there any other unanticipated topics? I know I think that's it. Then, under topics for the next regular meeting, I wanted to suggest that we have a discussion about the total nitrogen testing requirement, because I think we have not, as you've been doing your research and we're working on, responding to different issues. I think that's an area that we haven't been entirely clear and consistent on, so I think we should have a discussion on that. So I wanted to propose that for an agenda item for the next regular meeting.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Are there other topics that you'd like to put on the agenda for the next time?
Well, there's nothing, really urgent. I don't know that we've had a chance to talk since, it was the meeting before last, just generally of the kind of trajectory of the cesspool phase out, and what do we want to do based on some of the comments that we've heard and our interaction with the
Infrastructure, maybe?
infrastructure oversight committee.
Yeah.
And so
we could certainly have that discussion. I think we had talked about at the infrastructure meeting, we were interested in meeting with them again once they had
Mhm.
more information about the timing of phase one, and which would be the fall. But we certainly can explore some strategies and options, and depending on that timeline.
yeah.
So, cesspool phase out. Discussion, okay. That on the next meeting. Matt, do you have anything?
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. It just sort of reminded me, because it timed into the money issue, which is, so maybe I can come back and report.
Oh, the septic tax credit.
Well,
No,
that's
that-
one thing, so
sorry.
the letter's going out, and the letter's gotten a lot of support. This is a letter related to the proposal that the governor originally proposed as part of her tax reduction legislation, which is now before the House and the Senate, and would increase in a number of ways the credit that is available to homeowners for upgrading their failed septic systems. And so through the collaborative that we have and working with the Watershed Alliance, we've collected, they've collected, actually we participated, but they collected quite a lot of signatures, including a lot from the Rivers Alliance, Statewide Rivers Alliance, and Conservation Law Foundation, Buzzards Bay, in support of the Senate version of the bill, which increased the credit. So we'll see how that goes. It's in conference now. No, but somewhat related to that is that I came across the fact that Barnstable County has kind of transmuted their community septic loan program into this aqua fund, which is set up to offer 0%, 1%, maybe 3%, I don't know, loans for on an income qualifying basis.
Mhm.
And it involves, I think, it's county-wide,
Mhm.
but, part of it was adopted through special legislation, I guess, for permission for them to, I don't want to misstate this, but essentially kind of bypass the current administrative process for distributing these loans and work directly with the Clean Water Trust Fund. And so I wanted to look into that,
Okay.
just, because we've talked about that issue a lot and how things have, inflation and interest rates and times have changed, from when some of the initiatives that we successfully implemented happened. So I thought, well, maybe if we could do something like that, not overnight, but pursue that pathway in the long term, that having that option might be worth investing time to do.
I may be wrong, but I think I heard, the way I understood it is Barnstable County did this sort of pilot approach, but that the Clean Water Revolving Fund has adopted a mechanism that towns can apply for the 0% loan if they commit to the income eligible
Right.
kind of criteria.
Right.
So I think that on our next, one question would be, can we, it's too late to convert our existing loan, but the next, I guess I've answered that question already, because we've already gotten the loan at 2% or whatever, so we can't,
Right,
I don't know if
Right.
we can renegotiate the terms of the existing loan.
right,
But
right.
then the new one, we certainly
Yeah.
could. And then there are, as we talked about, the 1% loan program that we have now, we have to go back to town meeting to
Right,
change
right,
those
yeah,
criteria.
so it was just,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And theirs is also tied to kind of nitrogen reduction, either through part of it is not just limited to septic system upgrades, also to sewer connections
Oh,
as well. So, for, and I'm not exactly sure what that would cover, because usually, the sewer line only goes to a certain point, and then it's the resident's responsibility to do the connection. So could be loans for that, could be, so it was just kind of looking forward to it, and clearly, I think we do have to do a bylaw. I don't know why there's required special legislation or what we could get out of that. But just apropos of the question that you raised, which is that in just looking at their frequently asked questions section,
yeah.
one of the questions was, can a person who had a higher interest loan refinance it? And the answer was yes.
Oh, good.
Or at least it seemed to be not an unqualified yes, but not a no.
Mhm.
I guess maybe it depends on factors about the loan, and
Well,
they didn't go into detail. Anyway, I'm just kind of making some phone calls about it to,
Yeah,
to
well,
the
I-
program and find out what's going on with it.
I'm great. I appreciate your taking that on. So another question I would think about considering is, because Barnstable County is also working on being, what's the term, Matt? Management entity?
I mean, Cape Cod, I think of the Cape Cod Commission.
No, it's like a all-inclusive type service where they manage the septic plans, the loans, the all of it, the testing. I forget it. We haven't looked at it in a few months, so I don't remember what the acronym was.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's some sort of management entity. It's piloting right now so that homeowners don't have to worry about trying to find an engineer and the Title V inspector.
Mhm.
That it would be sort of one-stop shopping, and they
Mhm.
oversee it, and because of the efficiencies, they can contract with certain
Right.
entities and kind of cover it.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking, I'm not sure, if, would they be able to, I think, for that program, it might be not just Barnstable County, like it is with the septic tracking
Right, well, there's,
information.
yeah,
So I'm wondering with the loan program, is there any ability for them to have other towns join in?
yeah, well, I was definitely gonna, on my mind to ask about that.
Okay.
But there is in the whole structure of the community septic loan program that a town or municipality, could choose to develop a, and I think this was done in terms of like an inspection plan,
Schedule,
right?
yeah.
You can do a whole town-wide schedule, and in which case the community would be hiring somebody or some bodies to like do that activity, and as you were saying, there's some efficiency or cost savings in that. I don't know if how that works, but it doesn't sound like a wholly unique kind of concept. It's like concierge service, But anyway, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, so I was going to ask them, like, so why did you need, what was the special legislation about? What is it that you needed to do in order, to get it set up? And I think, they have a whole online payment thing, so they've, I think, streamlined the administrative costs of it,
mhm.
that kind of thing. And they may have a totally, because I think there are 15 towns that are involved, and I think they just have one centralized administration for it,
Right,
so.
yeah.
I'm not saying that it, so there's, but anyway, it was just worth looking into.
They obviously have more advanced technology,
Yeah, for sure.
IT, than we do.
Yeah.
So it would be,
Yeah,
I'd certainly be open to
yeah,
exploring that. Obviously,
Right.
Barnstable County is serving in that role for us
Right.
already. Oh, not that role, but a similar role where we would not have that capacity to
right,
monitor and keep track of all that stuff electronically. So,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
but maybe it's worth looking at that model to try to build something, on the South Coast, maybe even through the collaborative, or just beyond that to see, like, is there some sort of critical mass
Mm.
of communities that might be interested in doing it, just because it's so economically beneficial to residents,
Yeah.
particularly low-income residents, for sure. And
Well, I hadn't thought about it through the collaborative, but the power of 6, communities.
yeah, I mean,
maybe-
it may be, it would make sense, to do it collectively. And anyway, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
find
so-
out what I can find out,
Yeah,
how it's
please.
structured, and then, it's not like an overnight thing, but
No.
it could be something
No,
that
but lay
you
the
can
groundwork.
kind of work towards, because the problems are multi-year problems, and, so, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for burrowing into that, and look, if there's any possibilities of either piggybacking or using that model,
Yeah,
I'm certainly open to it. Okay, since we have no appointments, I think we can adjourn, unless there's anything else.
So I move to adjourn our meeting at 4:30 PM.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous, thank you.